know what Sony had? The Holy Trinity. Leo, Brad, and Margot. Who do you have?
Hello and welcome to Boy Party, the podcast that tackles cinema's most legendary team-ups films where two major stars share the screen and battle it out for screen time, top billing, the fatter paycheck, and the most acclaim. My name is Lucien Daly, and I'm joined, as always, by the bastard accountant that I've been hired to transport across the country. Shane Kelly is here.
Good midnight, everyone.
I think this character has a little bit of you to him.
How so?
I think that you're a commerce graduate.
Oh, yes.
And you'd be willing to get up to some shady shit.
Steal from the mob.
Steal from the mob.
Yeah.
The mob, in this case, being Boy Party Incorporated.
Yeah.
Joining us on the show for the third time.
Yep.
Returning back once again. Very talented filmmaker, Midnight Run fan. Luke Shanahan is here.
Howdy.
How are you, Luke Shanahan? Midnight Run? Excited to talk about it?
Yeah, I am. Didn't get a chance to rewatch it until last night, so I'm coming in fresh.
Coming in fresh. Very
Got
good.
the Blu-ray.
Bit of a
Lovely.
midnight run.
Bit of a midnight run.
A midnight watch, a midnight run. Here is a full list of the 80s films we've covered on this podcast.
Very few.
This podcast has had, this is the 122nd episode.
Yeah.
Twins, 1988. Batman, 1989. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, 1988. When Harry Met Sally, 1989. Midnight Run, 1988.
Wow.
That is, I have to assume, the biggest gap from the 50s till present is from 1980 to 1988. We have covered 0 films. That is the least interesting period in film history to me.
So.
By
Bonkers.
some distance.
Yeah.
Does this hit that gap now, or are we
This
still
is
late
88.
Okay.
This is the same. This is basic. This is spiritually 90s to me.
But this also suffers from a lot of the issues we have with a lot
It
of what
does.
came out in the 80s.
It's a bridge between the
There's
shit.
a lot of cheese in this.
Yeah, it is the bridge.
Which I'm down for.
I think the music is the biggest indicator of the
love
80s.
it.
I hate it. It's
I
awful.
love it.
Who is it? Danny Elfman?
Yeah.
This movie is a bridge of the 80s stuff I don't like and the 90s stuff I do like.
Right.
And as a result, it kind of falls somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But like, I was listening to Pierce about why I don't want to do 80s movies on the show. I was listing all the 80s stars that don't interest me. And I was
Yeah.
rolling off like Eddie Murphy, Chevy Chase, Goldie Hawn, John Candy, John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd. Those are just comedy stars. Obviously, there is like Harrison Ford stuff in there, and there's Bruce Willis stuff in there. But even Bruce Willis is kind of late 80s. Like, I actually think that the early to mid 80s is deathly uninteresting. At least the type of stuff we talk about on this show. I guess there's a lot of science fiction. There's a lot of people dipping their toe into the modern blockbuster stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's just a lot of things that I would never want to really dig into.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I have more time for in the 80s that you wouldn't.
Oh, for sure. You're definitely less 80s
There's
skeptical
definitely
than
some
me.
like Spielberg,
Yeah.
James Cameron.
Sure.
Also just franchise.
But those kinds of
blockbuster
things, yeah,
stuff,
they're not really boy
horror
party
stuff.
material. Yeah.
No, not
the,
really.
The stuff that we do, which is kind of, comedies, dramas, thrillers, stuff that's star driven rather than IP driven,
yeah.
is very weak
Yeah.
and very flimsy, and the shit that people try and convince you is good, like the John Landis movies or random crap like that, is just not, or even the Ivan Reitman stuff. Like Twins is obviously an Ivan Reitman movie, but like there's like 5 other Ivan Reitman movies.
But
around
a
that time.
lot of them seem to have a doziness to them.
Yeah, there's so
that
low
are-
energy. There's like a real lack of motivation. It's like the 70s burst of inspiration really wore off. And
Yeah.
everybody was just like, I don't know,
We'll
this'll
go
do.
for a drive and meet someone's mother. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and a
we'll
lot
throw
of
a
the
few gags in there.
most interesting stuff in cinema in the 80s is actually probably outside of America and outside the
100%.
English language.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure Ran is an 80s movie.
I guess so,
Which
yeah.
no one thinks of as an 80s movie
Yeah.
because it's kind of timeless.
True. No, you're right. A lot of great.
And what's that
European cinema.
fucking Leo's character? I don't know how to pronounce it. Mava Sang?
Mauvais Sang?
Yeah, like that's the 80s.
Yes, a lot of
and
character
that's
stuff in the
really
80s.
good.
Yeah, good French stuff in the 80s. A lot of
Yeah.
good European, Asian cinema. It's just Hollywood's kind of like parked up, not being interesting in the 80s.
Yeah.
This movie, directed by Martin Brest, who has a very interesting 6-film career. I've seen 5 of his 6 films, 5.5, I'd say. And he's still alive and he's retired since 2003 when he directed Gigli, which is widely considered one of the worst movies ever made.
Yeah.
A kind of brilliant little narrative to just wrap it up after that.
Yeah.
He made Beverly Hills Cop, which is obviously a huge success for Eddie Murphy. He makes Going in Style, which is a very charming, like, old men rob a bank movie.
Yeah.
Scent of a Woman, which of course wins Al Pacino,
Jesus.
his one Oscar.
Right.
Midnight Run. Meet Joe Black, which I really
Crazy.
like, which is this fascinating 3-hour kind of what if Succession had the devil in it, or the Grim Reaper was a character in Succession. It's just like Anthony Hopkins and Brad Pitt kind of hanging out in like boardrooms in a big New York skyscraper, and Brad Pitt's like, I'm going to have to take you to the afterlife now, Frank. And Anthony Hopkins is like, I know, just give me one more week. I really like that film. I think it rules. And Thomas Newman's score is just like, bah, 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 bah. It's really good. Talk about a Martin Brest movie where the score is OTT in a good way. And then he makes Gigli and he retires. The only person who has interviewed Martin Brest on camera in the last 20 years is friend of the show, Daniel Fee.
No way.
Who was cited on Blank Check for his interview with Martin Brest when they covered Martin Brest 2 or 3 years ago.
Wow.
And Daniel Fee, I don't know if he listens to the show, but friend of the show, he follows us on Instagram. Lovely guy. He did this interview, which was really good and got huge traction online. Because people were like, shit, Martin Brest was like a recluse. And it's like if Terrence Malick showed up on Boy Party.
Like. That is the one man who could actually get Terrence Malick
get
to
Terrence Malick to
do
do an interview. Just an incredibly persuasive
I don't know how he does
outreacher. It's amazing. So that's, if you want to hear Martin Brest talk about his career, go check out Daniel's YouTube channel. But I don't know if Martin Brest's ever going to work again. He's got a fascinatingly bald head.
Like more bald than normal.
He looks kind of like a what?
Like
more bald than normal.
Yeah.
Just very oval shaped head.
Okay.
And nice
I was watching some special features on
Yes.
the Blu-ray last night, and I realized I'd never seen a picture of Martin Brest before, and he's
Right.
not what I assumed he was going to look like.
No.
I think I was picturing like a John McTiernan type.
Absolutely,
like
I was going to say,
a gruffer
military-looking guy.
Yeah,
like, I
this
love
guy's
the action pictures.
His vibe is more like comedy nerd.
I think it makes more sense that he's the man who made Beverly Hills Cop and Gigli than the man who made Midnight Run. But then Midnight Run is effectively functions as a comedy.
Oh, 100%.
With, I guess, mob and action elements.
Yeah.
So this is 1988, and it's I guess where does this fall in the lineage of 80s like Odd Couple road movies? Like this post Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I guess. You've got
actually,
I assume so. And at this point, it's like because I feel like let's get a straight man and a silly man. Although this movie,
this is the point I wanted to make later.
It doesn't have a silly man.
No, it doesn't do the silly man.
It's two different kinds of straight men.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess so.
Like Grodin is by default the silly man because he's a comedian.
Yeah.
But he's
actor.
playing it very straight.
Playing very straight. So you've got this very sedate version of him who's just kind of passive aggressive.
I guess it's a little bit like the Always Sunny thing, where depending on, like in a lot of the scenes in that show, they change who the straight man and the kind of wild card is.
Sure.
And I think you can maybe argue at different points of Midnight Run that they're taking turns being the straight man or the funny guy.
Okay,
like on the airplane, where it's like, these things go down. And then Robert De Niro is trying to have to like handle that. Yes. Robert De Niro's the straight man in that moment and he's the funny guy. But something like where the card has been declined and then they're having to get out cash for the bus and like Robert De Niro flashes the FBI badge, but he uses the wrong name. Like Robert De Niro has been thrust into the funny guy role, and then Charles Grodin, he's just his fucking little looks of like shaking it like gently.
Oh, they're so good.
And
he's
then
such a pest.
Like nodding his head. Like that's very much like I would say straight man stuff.
Sure. The dynamic is set by the fact that one of them is in a position of control, loosely held control, that he's constantly at risk of being taken away from him. And the other guy just wants to cause mischief because, well, he's
completely resigned to the fact that he's being taken in.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't resist it at all.
Grodin is like although there is a scene where he tries to escape by means of a tiny airplane.
Oh, yes.
Mission Impossible, the Final Reckoning style.
It looks exactly,
Which he's been building up to that, obviously. He's like Tim Robbins digging the hole behind the poster in Shawshank Redemption. Slowly building to an escape.
Yeah, there's a nice little glance when they get out of the truck. He just glances at the airplane. He's like, can I use the bathroom?
Yeah. So he's a little stinker.
Yeah.
But I don't know if his comedy persona never is big, loud, silly
He might
guy.
function more as a child in this than as an adult a little bit, where kind of doesn't really have any authority, but is not hyper aware of the situation or the stakes that he's going to die.
Yeah.
But he's just like,
true.
I'll be a little bollocks. Like.
So De Niro is a bounty hunter called Jack Walsh, and we kind of jump in media res at the start to him like completing a job. I said this reminded me a little bit of The Nice Guys, the opening.
Oh, yeah,
how
yeah,
it just kind of cuts to where the guys are doing
there's a couple
business.
moments that remind me of The Nice Guys.
And he gets called in by Joe Pantoliano, who's like, I have this accountant who's costing me hundreds of thousands of dollars. Will you go get him for me? Because he's a fucking nuisance. And there's also actual federal authorities looking for Charles Grodin as well. So De Niro's kind of competing with them to get him first, because obviously he only gets paid if Joe gets his hands on him. Mm-hmm. That's basically the setup.
Yeah.
So he basically goes to get him in Chicago?
New York.
New York.
They are based in LA, and he has to go to New York.
So they never go to Chicago in this?
No, they go to Chicago to meet the wife.
Oh,
They do. It's on the way.
Yeah.
Because De Niro was a former policeman in Chicago.
Yes.
And moved to LA to become because he got fired, or just
because he won't go on the payroll of the gangsters.
Yes.
The scene in which Mardukas falls off a cliff was shot in the Salt River Canyon in Arizona, but the conclusion of the scene was shot in New Zealand. What?
Oh, yeah, that came up in one of the special features, but I didn't really understand why they needed to do that.
The frame of this film was, it said because the water was too cold in Arizona. I don't understand how any excuse to go to New Zealand. Surely there was somewhere in Canada you could have gone to.
I don't know.
The water's colder.
That is ridiculous, going to New Zealand to shoot the end of Midnight Run. Surely that added like $3 million to the soundtrack. Crazy.
So
or to the soundtrack. The score. I'm reading the word soundtrack. To the budget. So I think myself and Shane don't really like this as much as you.
Okay.
Shane was pretty cold on it, I think. You were like, this is never going to end.
It just never... I liked Grodin and his quirks, and De Niro's doing fine, but it's just...
I do think...
It felt predictable. Every time someone said the phrase, son of a bitch, I was like, okay, let's go, come on.
I think if you took these two actors out and you inserted in any of the two 80s actors I referenced a few minutes ago, I would not watch this.
No, the whole film is like a gentle... balancing act.
It's so dependent on the actors. 100%. I don't think the script is that great. I think that it's like,
and also it's such
generic.
a cliched format at this point.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah,
you kind of know what's going to happen.
The guy who
but I think for its time, I think it was pretty original, and I think now it's kind of become a little bit of a template for what the action comedy is.
Yeah,
something I was thinking about a lot watching it last night is that a lot of the humor in it is stuff that in modern films does not work for me at all. But because it's Robert De Niro, I've got a little bit more time for it. Like there's a sarcastic element to the basis of the humor that in the hands of like Ryan Reynolds.
Well, you know who'd be in this?
Like the same.
This was made now. It would be Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Hart.
Jesus Christ.
Or some
Paul Walter Hauser.
Two guys in that. Yeah, maybe Paul Walter Hauser is a
would actually
comp.
Be good, yeah.
But it'd be two guys of that kind, and it would be on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Never get released in cinemas.
Yeah.
And you'd be like...
Well, I mean, obviously the good version of this is Gosling and Russell Crowe.
Yes, but that's a different kind of dynamic where those are both like proper serious actors. Well, that's I don't want to discredit Charles Grodin, but I suppose I'm thinking of like Mark Wahlberg does the type of shit now that De Niro was doing in the 80s.
Okay. Yeah.
Even though he obviously was never at De Niro's level. He was, let's not forget, an Oscar nominee for a Scorsese film 20 years ago this year.
Yeah.
So like
no, he kind
of does slot into that position now, even though obviously the standard is like way down. But sorry, continue with your point.
I think what I was going to bring
humor
up
now with Ryan Reynolds, you were saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like sometimes I was thinking about watching the film. I remember hearing on this other podcast years ago.
You're not allowed to listen to other podcasts. That's cheating on Boy Party. We're taking you to court.
It is what it is. But they're making the point about the humor in Die Hard that part of what works about it is what they described as like a New Jersey sense of humor.
Right.
And I think ultimately what they mean is like a working class sense of humor. Mm-hmm. And I was watching an interview with the screenwriter George Gallo.
Yes.
Who
I'm seeing here he wrote Bad Boys.
Yeah, he said in the interview he wrote Bad Boys before he wrote this.
I've never watched any of the Bad Boys movies start to finish. I guess that they have a different vibe to this because it's two black characters.
Yeah, and I think there was a lot of extensive rewrites. Yeah. Certainly in the dialogue,
hopefully
to make that work.
A black person.
But it's funny watching George Gallo because he talks exactly how like Robert De Niro talks in Midnight
Really?
Run.
Okay.
And he's from Portchester in New York, which is like outside of the city, but is still kind of an urban area. It's a lot of Italian Americans, Latinx people, and I think what works about Midnight Run, similar to Die Hard, is I think there's like an authentic working class sensibility in the humor that grounds the heightened reality of an action comedy. And I think something like The Fall Guy is missing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think something like Bullet Train is missing that.
Yeah.
And I think there is, in those kind of like action comedy is really hard. Like most of the time it doesn't work.
It actually has probably the lowest floor of any subgenre of like 1-star average. Very, very bad.
And I think it seems like a really superficial thing or like an odd thing to point to, but I think there is something in there that is like the secret sauce in like making you care about the characters or making the characters feel like real people and not like cartoons in a way.
Yeah, like De Niro doesn't feel invincible in this, and like he's kind of scrounging for like $300 at the beginning of this, and you kind of get a sense that he needs his money here. Whereas, what was The Fall Guy you were on about?
Yeah,
it's kind of like not a superhero movie in a sense, but it's like okay, this is Ryan Gosling in something flashy, like he's going to be completely fine.
Okay, I've done a little letterbox search here to see how many action comedies I have ever given 4 stars or higher. Okay, so I've selected the genres action and comedy combined.
Okay. Yeah,
The Guard is listed here as an action comedy. I don't think The Guard has a lot of action in it.
No,
it's a crime
definitely
comedy.
leans towards comedy.
This has One Battle After Another falling in under action comedy,
which is an interest.
Kind of.
It's not an action comedy in the Midnight Run sense, but it is action and comedy.
The Naked Gun 2025.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
The Nice Guys. Yes.
Love it.
Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Yeah.
I guess it's an action. Yeah, it's an action comedy.
It is. Yeah. I'm just not nuts on it.
That's a successful action comedy for me. Tower Heist.
Oh yeah.
Not really action. Crime comedy. There's no action in it really. The 1966 Batman movie with Adam West.
Sure.
Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the, I think, most successful case of like this in the 2000s. What came out there like a week or two ago that people were comparing to Hot Fuzz? It's not Sheep Detectives. Maybe
wasn't it?
Maybe it was, or was there some trailer for something and people were like, "Oh, that looks like Hot Fuzz." I can't remember.
I don't know.
The Get Smart movie, I do quite like. I like the TV. I like the show more, but And then Men in Black 3 is listed here as an action comedy.
Okay.
That's sci-fi. And then you're down into that's it.
Yeah, Hot Fuzz is kind of maybe the best example.
I think so of what we're talking about here. Yeah. But Hot Fuzz, interestingly, it's like not really a character clash movie. It's actually just like 2 guys who get on great.
True. But but Simon Pegg's character is sort of at odds with the community.
Yes, there's a fish out of water thing. But there isn't like bickering anti types. Yeah. It's more like nice friends.
If you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna put your head in the door.
Yeah, nice friends who love each other. God, this George Gallo guy really hasn't written anything.
You know he was fucking 27 when he wrote this?
That's so depressing. Well, depressing in the sense of like he got it made.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an incredible screenplay.
He had sold one screenplay before that. I think it's called Wise Guys. And like a screenplay that got produced.
Is that there's a De Palma movie called Wise Guys?
Maybe it's I think it might be that.
Yeah, I think Christopher Walken's let me check.
But it's crazy. He like told this story in the interview about like going from the Paramount lot to like a local bar and seeing Martin Brest there, and he's like, and then I saw Marty Brest there, and I was like, I'm gonna bust this guy's chops, and and he's like, let me tell you about bounty hunters.
So his first film was 2 years previously that was directed by Brian De Palma, Wise Guys. That's bad.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah. And did he know a lot about bounty hunters? He did his research into bounty hunters.
Yeah, he kind of was just like. He didn't have a script when he was speaking to Martin Brest. He was just like, I've been reading about bounty hunters. They're interesting, right? And Martin Brest was like, are bounty hunters like actually still a thing? And he's like, oh yeah, there's some archaic law from like the Wild West, basically, where like that allows kidnapping to happen if it's like one man pays another man to capture a third man.
Fascinating.
So I don't know if that's still in place
Well,
today.
we had the infamous show Dog the Bounty Hunter that broadcast on Sky One throughout all of our lives.
So I wonder, are bounty hunters still a thing in America?
I think there are probably certain states where they're still a thing.
Or is it like hitmen in movies where people assume it's real?
Yeah.
Sorry, does this
not
Dog was real though?
Am I confusing something? Is there anything to do with bail bond? No, that's a different thing.
No, that's a different thing.
That's a different thing.
Oh, yeah.
I would have not.
So who's paying for the Duke to be captured here?
Joey Pants. He hires De Niro in like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yes.
That's pretty straightforward, I think. He's like, this guy's costing me money.
I know, but he offers De Niro like $100,000 to catch him.
Yeah, because he's worth a lot more.
But he has okay. I didn't get a sense that he had that kind of cash to be thrown around.
Yeah. He's losing loads of money because of what Charles Grodin's up to.
Okay,
can I tell you exactly what he's up to? No, I cannot. But something that's costing him money.
Embezzlement and stuff.
Something.
3 direct-to-TV sequels.
No way.
Another Midnight Run. Starring Christopher McDonald from Happy Gilmore as Jack Walsh.
Oh, Jesus.
He's still trying to make a living by tracking down skips. It turns out his bail bondsman friend Eddie, Dan Hedaya, I love a bit of Dan Hedaya, has 2 jumpers, Bernie and Helen, a husband turned wife. There is a movie about a bail bondsman, though. Oh, give me a sec. What do we see recently that had a bail bondsman in it?
Good Time?
Good Time is one, yeah.
Something we saw in the cinema.
No, I don't know. There was just something that had a bail bondsman. Anyway, Good Time is a good example. Yeah. Then there's another one called Midnight Runaround, also starring
that's good. I like that.
Christopher McDonald and Dan Hedaya. And then there's Midnight Run for Your Life. Well, that's dreadful.
That's terrible.
And that features Melora Walters from Magnolia, and I guess she's the lead.
And so Jack Walsh is in all of these or not all of these?
Jack Walsh is in the first 2, played by Christopher McDonald. I think Midnight Run for Your Life, he's gone, but Dan Hedaya is still hanging around playing Eddie Moscone. So they've introduced this new Dan Hedaya character, and now he becomes the lead of the third one.
Oh, and actually on the topic of sequels.
Yes.
Now, I've never seen this, but I understand the Sydney character in this is unofficially the same character in Paul Thomas Anderson's debut, Hard 8.
Oh, interesting.
And he originally wanted to call it Sydney.
Yeah.
And he based it off the Midnight Run character without, getting the rights or anything. And he wanted to call the film Sydney, and the studios were like, "That's a stupid fucking name for a movie. You're going to call Hard 8."
His name is Sydney in Hard 8. Yeah. There you go. That's pretty funny.
So
that is a bit like how the Cranston character in the studio is the same name as the Tim Robbins character in The Player.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, which we were talking about last week, which is really fun. That is a fun fact. Love Philip Baker Hall. What a legend. I think I'd first be probably...
Is he still alive?
No. He died in 17, 18, 22, the age of 19.
Really? He got that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the first thing I saw him in. I know the first thing I really clocked him in being really good was in Modern Family.
I was going to say, yeah.
Where he's the neighbor who befriends Noah, whatever that kid's name is, Luke. And he dies, and it's very moving, and God, he's great. And then I obviously later saw him in the Paul Thomas Anderson films where he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
What a great face. What a great actor. Always happy when he shows up and stuff. He's great in Seinfeld. He's got that one episode that everybody loves. He's got
don't think I've seen that.
It's like the one episode of Seinfeld I've seen multiple times. He's very good.
Seinfeld was kind of just always on my house, so it's all a bit of
yeah. He's like comes looking for an unpaid library fine, I think is his thing. But he's in episodes of West Wing, Curb Your Enthusiasm. He voices J.D. Salinger on BoJack Horseman.
Oh, does he?
J.D. Salinger.
When he gets into reality TV.
He hosts a quiz show called J.D. Salinger.
Hollywood Stars and Celebrities.
What do they know? Do they know things? Let's find out. Anyone else in this that's fun? Dennis Farina, the great mustache
Nick Miller's dad.
Yes, Dennis Farina.
In Thief also has no lines from what I remember.
I feel like he's like the major part of Thief though. Like I feel like
he's kind of like hunting down James Caan towards the end of the film. But I don't remember him having like any dialogue.
Thief is like the first thing listed on his Wikipedia.
Yeah, I think it might have actually been his first role.
Yes, he's
first
obviously
screen role.
He's dead. Yeah. God, he died very young, 69.
Yeah, he died during New Girl, so they have to write it into the show.
Oh.
Is he in New Girl a lot?
He's in like 2 or 3 episodes.
All right, okay, not that, but it was acknowledged and he died.
Yeah, and he's like they devote like a whole at least one episode, maybe 2, to his funeral.
Wow, okay. His real name, Donaldo Guglielmo Farina.
Okay. All right.
Dennis, my ass.
Donaldo.
He was a real cop. So he was a cop. He was a fucking military veteran. So that's why he brings all of this tense energy with him.
Yeah, and probably why Michael Mann had him for Thief.
Absolutely.
He loves all that
He's probably
shit.
a consultant.
Yeah.
Oh, God, his TV credits in the 2000s are just like Law and Order, Trial by Jury, like every single variation. Yeah, that's kind of everyone in this I'm familiar with. Oh, Tracy Walter plays Diner Counterman. I think we need to acknowledge.
Oh, he had a good face, yeah.
Tracy Walter became accidentally the first actor to ever appear in 3 movies that we covered on Boy Party.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, weird.
I officially announced that it was Laura Dern, but in fact, Tracy Walter did have the statistic. Like, he shows up on the stats page as the top actor we've covered. I don't think his name has ever been said on this podcast
Hilarious.
before.
There's one more person we need to mention as well after this.
Okay. Well, let's me just the 3 Tracy Walter movies we've covered.
Okay.
Batman, Annie Hall, Philadelphia, and now Midnight Run.
And do you remember what he is in those?
Not a fucking clue. In Batman, he plays Bob the Goon.
Bob the Goon.
Of course.
In Annie Hall, he plays actor in Rob's TV show. And in Philadelphia, he plays librarian. This man is just a professional
extra
Silence of the Lambs, he's in. Matilda as FBI agent. Erin Brockovich, Man on the Moon, Rumblefish, Hardcore, Something Wild, Death to Smoochie. Sorry, he's actually in 5 Boy Party movies.
Wow.
Death to Smoochie as well.
Hall of Famer.
There you go. Shane, who else do you want to acknowledge?
I've forgotten the name, but I think it's like David Keogh or David Keogh.
Jack Keogh.
Jack Keogh.
Jerry Geisler.
Who's got an incredible Martin Short like face.
He
in
does.
This for some,
yeah, very funny.
He looks like Martin Short and Clifford. Where
is this one of the FBI guys? Who's this?
Who is
he's
he?
in the first 20 minutes or so.
Sorry, I think he works in the office.
This guy
yes.
Yeah, he's like the secretary in the office, maybe.
He's brilliant. He is not actually Irish. We tried to find out, but he's in like The Sting and The Game and loads of stuff. He died in 2022. God, everyone's dead except for Robert De Niro. Isn't that awful?
That's what happens when you're acting in the 80s.
I know. Well,
so
and Martin Brest is alive as well. So Robert De Niro joins the 3-time club on Boy Party today. 3 times we've talked about movies in which he is the star. Las Vegas, Heat, and this. God, Las Vegas is really an outlier there in terms of...
Oh my God, I didn't put Heat in my top 5 Robert De Niro movies.
Too late.
Oh
Too
my
late.
God.
Too late.
I mean, what would you have left out? What was your number 5?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Nah, that's a more fun choice. Heat's a boring choice.
I love Heat though.
Yeah, but I don't think Robert De Niro. I don't think Heat is one of Robert.
This is the issue with doing a top 5 Robert De Niro.
I quite strongly believe Heat is not one of Robert De Niro's 5 best performances.
Really?
Though. It might be one of Pacino's. I don't think it's one of his best performances. He's great. He's really good in it. But like, I'm colder on Heat than most people anyway.
I warmed up to it.
Heated up to it. You heated up to it.
We actually get our best engagement on TikTok when we say stupid things.
Yes,
so.
like when Katie came on and said that Little Women's meta structure was annoying and reminded her of Fleabag, and
that's hilarious.
We got hate comments. And
sorry, someone said,
the video.
Who is Katie Brady and why do I need to listen to her?
why is her opinion worth?
Sorry, should we be talking about this? We deleted all those comments.
So I have a little Robert De Niro game.
Okay.
We did the same game for Matt Damon when we did him 3 times, and Shane absolutely hated this game. So we're doing it again for Robert De Niro, the exact same. So, first question. Can you guys name every movie that Robert De Niro has been in where he's the only face on the poster?
Oh, fuck.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8.
Taxi Driver.
Yeah. See how many you can get. Taxi Driver, correct. Ding, ding, ding. There's only 8 out of his whole career where he's the only face on the poster.
Dirty Grandpa. Is it Bad or Dirty Grandpa?
No, Zac Efron's on that poster with him.
Ronan?
Nope. There's a couple of little people around the edges.
Are there other Scorseses in there?
Yeah.
King of Comedy?
Nope. Jerry Lewis is on the poster.
Raging Bull?
Correct. Yeah. 2. This is now obviously every movie has multiple posters. This is the primary letterbox poster.
Yeah. Okay.
The default. Okay.
So we got Raging Bull and Taxi Driver.
Yeah. That's all your Scorsese's done.
Okay.
Is he the only one on the Intern poster?
Nope.
No,
Hathaway's very much there.
Yeah.
There is a film from last year on here.
Oh, the Alto Nights.
The Alto Nights.
Oh, the Alto Nights.
Well
Jesus
done.
Christ.
And then there's one more you'll get, and then there's 3 you will not get.
One more. Okay.
You've mentioned it already today. One of his greatest performances. Great 70s film. Poster's like a cool. That is not a 70s film. Cool, like black and white kind of print image with red text. The Deer Hunter.
Oh, is he the only one on the Deer Hunter?
Yeah.
No Christopher Walken or anything, or
no. So the original Deer Hunter poster is the poster that the secret agent copied, where it's like the white face on the black background with the red font.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And the secret agent like did a homage to that this year.
Nice.
The other ones are Guilty by Suspicion, What Just Happened, which I have seen, which is him with like tape over his mouth because he's been cancelled. The Comedian, which I've seen, which is interesting, and Charles Grodin is in, and I'll mention in a minute. And then something called The Swap, which is like one of his first leading roles. All right. Can you guess the Robert De Niro movie by the tagline? All right. So, experience never gets old.
The Intern.
The Intern. New York's most powerful gangster is about to get in touch with his feelings.
Analyze this.
Correct. It's going to be legendary.
Las Vegas.
Correct. Yeah. The war was over and the world was falling in love again.
The war was over.
The war was over, not the war. The war daily. The war was over and the world was falling in love again.
There's Deer Hunter?
No, there's musical instruments on the poster.
New York, New York.
New York, New York. Well done.
Okay.
This Christmas, Santa's got a brand new bag. This feels like one that we should all know, but I've actually never heard this before.
Santa's got a brand new bag.
Don't focus on Santa.
Oh, okay.
Or Christmas.
Okay.
What?
What's a cool movie that would have a fucking stupid tagline like that? That's trying to be really clever. Who's a filmmaker who's too clever for his own good and would think that's funny?
Adam McKay.
No, worse. This is Jackie Brown.
Really?
Santa's got a brand new bag.
What the fuck?
Stupid.
Is Jack? I haven't watched Jackie Brown in a long time. Is it set at Christmas?
No, but it came out at Christmas.
It's remarkably summertime.
Yeah, it's a summery movie. Yeah, but it was released at Christmas, and I guess that they thought that was funny. I guess Tarantino thought that was funny.
That's insane.
This summer, a star falls. The chase begins.
Is this a space thing?
No.
This is like a Hollywood thing?
Yeah.
Star Falls.
Yeah.
It's
a great film. Great movie. Stardust, in which he plays the gay pirate.
Oh, okay. When I said a Hollywood thing, I meant like set in Hollywood.
Oh, sorry. No. The star is literally a star.
Literally
Claire
a star.
Danes that falls out of the sky. Fun fact about Robert De Niro. He's never starred in a movie where the title of the movie is the first and last name of his character.
Okay.
He's never been in a movie called, Michael Clayton, Jackie Brown, Travis Bickle, where he's the titular character.
Reggie Bull is not his name.
Which is kind of interesting because Matt Damon, there was like 4 examples of that. It's kind of crazy it's never happened to Robert De Niro. Okay, can you name movies where Robert De Niro is smiling on the poster? There are, I think, 8 or 9 cases of this.
Is there a Joker in there where he's smiling in the background?
He's not on the poster for Joker.
Teen comedy?
Correct.
Hi Mom?
No, he's the primary poster for Hi Mom is like the woman with the shotgun at the window. There is another poster where he's smiling.
Okay, well, we won't count it.
We're going defaults here. What else is he having a good time? When is De Niro having fun?
I don't know, one of the Fokker movies?
No, he's never smiling.
He's
always grumpy. Those? Even the new one, because he's mean old Jack Brown. The Intern.
Yeah.
Dirty Grandpa?
Correct.
And one more?
No, it was like 5 more.
5 more? Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'll list them off. Awakenings.
Sure.
Las Vegas. Analyze that. He's smiling. Everybody's Fine. Wag the Dog. And Ezra. There you go. Ezra's him and Bobby Cannavale.
What's that called in?
Something stupid. It's called something like Believe in Yourself or something.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. That's a Robert De Niro game. 3 times on the show. I was trying to fill in some gaps in Robert De Niro's 80s, 90s, like around the time that this came out, which led to me watching such wonderful films as Falling in Love with Meryl Streep, which is a movie where Robert De Niro and Meryl Streep, you're not going to believe this, they fall in love.
That's insane.
No way.
That's a Christmas movie. Very, very generic, just kind of gets by on the charm of the two of them.
Right.
Like, they're both married, they leave their respective partners for each other. It's like, it's nice to watch Meryl Streep and Robert De Niro fall in love, but there's not a whole lot else going on there. You've got right before this, I'm just trying to line this up here. Okay, right before this, the run is King of Comedy 82, Once Upon a Time in America 84, which I tried to throw on last week. I got 10 minutes into it and I was like, I have to watch this in a cinema. It would be a waste to try and watch Once Upon a Time in America on a fucking TV or a laptop, and I won't be paying attention. Falling in Love, he's in Brazil as the repairman. He's the best thing in Brazil. Good fun. The Mission, which I've never seen, has a very famous Marconi score. He's in Angel Heart for one scene. He's got a really cool look, but it said I put it on in the opening credits. It was like, special appearance by Robert De Niro, and I was like, he's not going to be in this very much. That's a Mickey Rourke thing. The Untouchables, and then Midnight Run 88. And then in the years after this, he does a thing called Jackknife, which I know nothing about. Neil Jordan's We're No Angels, the year after this, in which him and Sean Penn are escaped convicts who dress up as like choir boys.
Yeah.
I must watch this. I don't understand how it came to be that Neil Jordan.
I've stumbled upon this on Letterboxd before.
Bizarre. He does a Jane Fonda thing called Stanley and Iris, and then Goodfellas is 1990. So like, there's like a big iconic film every 2 years with a bunch of random shit in between. Cape Fear is in 1991 with Scorsese.
Getting remade now.
About to come out with Javier Bardem in the role, which is very exciting. I don't think that Scorsese movie is that good. I love the original. The 60s version with Gregory Peck is fantastic. I could give or take the 90s one, so I'm very excited to see what the Bardem version is like. It looks pretty good. And yeah, there's a lot of non-existent movies in the 90s. This is Mad Dog and Glory is him and Bill Murray. This Boy's Life for him and young DiCaprio. Bronx Tale, he directs himself. Frankenstein, directed by Kenneth Branagh, where he plays.
That sounds right.
He plays the creature. And Casino 95.
Still haven't seen.
Yeah, I've watched about half of it, and I've never been able to finish it. I will someday. Heat 95, The Fan 96. Anyway, and then Jackie Brown is in 97. An interesting little stretch where he's in very obvious middle age and is kind of transitioning from great 70s actor to, I guess, the version of him that we have now, which is he's going to do a lot of crap, but every 5 years he'll do something amazing.
Yeah.
What have we not mentioned that's important to you that you'd like to talk about? There's obviously a video up on our Instagram of you giving your top 5 De Niro
which doesn't include Heat. That'll haunt me forever.
Any others that are important to you want to mention? I mean, it's important to say he was amazing in Killers of the Flower Moon, and I think there's potential now for him to deliver 1 or 2 more.
Oh, I really hope so.
Yeah,
I really hope he does a couple more things with Scorsese while they still can.
Yeah, he's 82. Like, he seems to have loads of energy. He's not that old.
He's still doing he did Zero Day there last year or whatever.
That was his first TV show, which was kind of a bummer. He had such a good record of never doing TV.
Okay.
And then he did
I
Zero
have not
Day.
heard about this
He plays the president.
Okay.
It's like a sort of a cyber terrorism thriller on Netflix with him, Jesse Plemons. Who else is in that?
I don't know. It's him. He was at home one day. The picture of Trump on his dartboard got too covered in holes from the darts he was throwing at, and he was like, oh, "Fuck! I need something else." And like, I gotta do TV now.
Back when I was trying to put together stand-up comedy material 8 years ago, I had a joke that was like, the worst thing that could ever happen to you is for Robert De Niro to call you a bozo on TV. If Robert De Niro calls you a bozo on TV, your penis shrinks 3 sizes. That wasn't a good joke. Anyway, he loves
3 sizes.
Yeah, 3 sizes.
3 penis sizes.
They come in sizes.
Yeah, he loves complaining.
3 standard penis sizes.
He loves complaining about Trump on TV.
Fair enough.
Obviously, back in the box office at the end of this year, Fokker in Law we'll be discussing on this show. Probably the next time we'll talk about Robert De Niro.
Sure.
This is the Ariana Grande.
Yeah, he showed up to CinemaCon and he said something along the lines of, Ariana Grande is the greatest scene partner I've ever shared.
I think he actually specifically said funniest.
The funny. Okay, that's a bit more...
Which is hilarious.
Like, who's he comparing her to?
Ben Stiller?
Charles Grodin?
So that's kind of part of the character as well, to just shit on
Lewis.
Ben Stiller. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Jerry Lewis? Maybe the joke was meant to be fuck Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Maybe Ariana Grande is really that funny in real life.
I think she's
very
maybe
funny.
that just doesn't translate.
Yeah. She is the lead of this
She's
film.
she seems to be. She's very funny in Wicked. So I'm really excited for Fokker in Law. I love those movies. They're not like...
I think I've only watched the first one in full.
No individual one of those films is that good.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that they're there as a collective.
You're
right.
right.
Fourth one, they're all in it. It's great.
Yeah.
So
I feel like the second one used to be on TV all the time, so I feel like I've seen the first 15 minutes of that 10 times.
Where they're getting honked in the RV. The second one is tedious, but he's, buzzing about getting
Isn't
his...
the second one like 2
check.
hours and 20 minutes long for some reason?
No, it's not.
Isn't that?
No, it's not. We watched them all in one day.
Yeah,
here.
we did.
We
yeah.
sat here. We watched
That's
all
insane.
3 of them in a row, and then recorded a Adam and Ben episode at the end. Yeah. Okay. Robert De Niro. That's him.
We'll get back to it, bud.
Charles Grodin, though, fun person.
Big kind of blind spot for me.
Right.
I looked at Letterboxd today, and I was like, have I actually seen Charles Grodin in anything else?
Well,
and there's one other movie now. I can't remember what it was.
Some of us do our research, and I went and watched 5 or 6 Charles Grodin movies this week. Yeah, and I'm delighted with myself. I've seen all the most important films in the Grodin oeuvre, including 2 that I went back and revisited that I hadn't seen in years. So I love the guy. I think he's great. I have huge time for Clifford, in which he plays the uncle that Martin Short terrorizes. I would recommend everybody go check out Clifford. Now, my favorite scene in Clifford is actually before he shows up. It's when Richard Kind is on the plane and Clifford's got a little dinosaur thing and he sticks it up Richard Kind's nose. He's like, I want to go to Dinosaur World. It's great. But Charles Grodin shows up as the uncle who has to look after him, and he's so good at being terrorized by a menace. It's like the thing he's best at. He's, funnily enough, what was I going to say about him? He's there was something. Sorry, one sec. There was a fun fact I was going to cite here. which was that yes, he was offered the role in The Graduate and turned it down because of a low salary, and it went to Dustin Hoffman. That's crazy.
That's huge sliding doors right there.
I can see how he would have fit in there. Like that kind of makes sense.
I think he would have been great in The Graduate. Yeah. But I feel like him being in The Graduate wouldn't necessarily have benefited him in the long run any more than his career ended up anyway. Yeah. Rather than, I think Dustin Hoffman wouldn't have had the career that he had, obviously, without that film. But
Grodin could have been in Fockers 2. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Grodin could have been in Fockers 2 anyway.
Sure.
He weirdly is like in with Simon and Garfunkel and like directed some of their concert movies and stuff.
That's bonkers.
And like has a lot of credits on his Letterboxd are Simon and Garfunkel like TV specials and music videos and stuff.
He's a guy who seems like he has a lot of stories. I was watching an interview on the Blu-ray.
Oh yeah.
And he just I kind of like, it was late and I like went on my phone for 1 second and then he started saying stuff that like caught my ear.
Yeah.
And he was describing going to the BFI in London for just a film. I don't think it was a film he was in, and some duchess, someone in the royal family was there,
right,
and they announced that she's there, and then they also announced that Charles Grodin is there,
okay,
and no one seems to know who he is, and they go, he's a major American film actor,
okay,
and then everyone's excited, and then he invited both of them on stage.
Oh my god.
And he says like, yeah, and I didn't know what to say. I couldn't talk about the film because it was about necrophilia. I must find out what it was. And he's like, I don't know what to say. So I was like, well, I've never met royalty before. What's the main focus of your life? And this duchess is like really offended by this. She's like, oh, well, I would never ask the same thing of you, but I suppose since you're asking family and friends, what's the main focus of your life? He goes, I guess family and friends. And you can see that it bugged them. Because like, you know, some people, they think they're better than other people. And it's like, you won a war and you call yourself king, you know? And it's like...
That's nice.
Yeah.
That reflects well on him.
That's good.
It does.
It's funny, last time you were here, we talked about Elaine May's Mikey and Nicky. Well, Charles Grodin's big breakout leading role is in Elaine May's The Heartbreak Kid. Oh, you got to watch it. It's on YouTube. I saw it during COVID and didn't love it. And I watched it again last night. And I thought it was great.
Cool.
I think in many ways... it's a film that maybe requires having been in a multi-year relationship to fully engage with, because it's about a guy on his like honeymoon who's like just being the biggest fucking asshole in the world to his new wife. She's like, I got sunburned, and he's like, why'd you get sunburned? You ruined the whole holiday. And you're just like, oh no. Really, really good fun. Elaine May's daughter, Jeannie Berlin, is the wife in it. Jeannie Berlin, most recently seen in The Bride, where she plays the like butler to Annette Bening's character. I love Jeannie Berlin. But he is just playing this fucking prick who just like immediately gets cold feet about his marriage and is like, I'm gonna run off with this other woman, goodbye. And he kind of gets what he wants in the end of the movie. It's a very like, Neil Simon wrote it, who's great. It's very, very cynical about men and marriage, and just ends with just like the man kind of winning, and you're just like, oh fuck this. But he's fantastic in it. And again, he's very muted. He's not doing like, there's a little bit of shouting and whatever, but it's mostly just like being this kind of like slimy little fucker, and he's got such a great face for that. And then 2 years later, he's in a movie that he also co-wrote that I watched the other day called 11 Harrow House, which has such a sick poster that I had to watch it. The poster is like...
Is that a cockroach?
It's like a beetle or a cockroach, but Charles Grodin and Candice Bergen are like climbing up the side of it. This is a movie about a diamond theft in London, and the great James Mason, who we've talked about on the show before, is basically Charles Grodin's kind of comrade in this. He's like, Charles Grodin's is American, living in London, and James Mason is an old guy who works at a diamond place and feels hard done by, and is like, I'm going to help you to steal the diamond. And Charles Grodin's like, thanks pal, let's get the scheme going. And it's so snoozy and sleepy, but beautiful score, great jazzy score that I loved. I kind of half watched it while I was working, but I thought it was good vibes movie, but not spectacular, but it was worth checking out. And then he plays Miss Piggy's another jewel thief, actually, but kind of the guy who cooks Kermit and tries to steal Miss Piggy away in The Great Muppet Caper.
Crazy.
Where he shows up in the opening credits, they're singing, they're like, it's the Great Muppet Caper, and we're all here, and I'm Kermit, and I'm Piggy. And then it cuts to Charles Grodin being like, and I'm also in the movie. And you're like, yeah! And he doesn't show up again for like 45 minutes. And he's like seducing Miss Piggy, and she's falling for him, and him and Kermit are kind of facing off against each other.
Crazy.
People talk about like, what actor do you want to be in a movie where they're all Muppets and there's one guy? And it's like, Charles Grodin was like, always the correct answer. He did it. It's phenomenal. That's in 81. Midnight Run's in 88. Weirdly, also has a talk show, has like an NBC talk show in the 2000s. Like a political commentator, like wrote books, had a talk show, would probably have a podcast.
Was he a Bill Maher type?
I'd say less of a Bill Maher type, more of a like, who are the other like old men who,
Conan O'Brien?
No. More like, he was on MSNBC or whatever. I mean, Alec Baldwin had an MSNBC show for a while.
Okay.
So it gets more like that.
Sure.
He what was I gonna say was not making a whole lot of movies there in the 80s, 90s. Now he's in the Beethoven films as the hapless father who has to deal with the dog's mischief. Yeah, almost no movies in the 2000s. And then in the 2010s, he's in The Comedian with Robert De Niro. He's in this Barry Levinson movie called The Humbling with Al Pacino, which I watched the other day, which is a film where Al Pacino seduces Greta Gerwig, who is a lesbian, but she turns straight for Al Pacino, but then she turns lesbian again, and Al Pacino's like, oh, God damn it. And Charles Grodin plays his like manager who's in like 3 scenes. Not a very good film. There is one scene I really enjoyed where Greta Gerwig and another woman are like getting it on in Al Pacino's house, and they get like an old Venetian mask and they put it on Al Pacino's head, and he sits at the sofa and the camera just like zooms in on him wearing this mask looking forlorn while like the shadow of the 2 women is on the wall behind him. Wonderful. And I was like, this is interesting filmmaking. Ben Stiller.
We have Eyes Wide Shut at home.
Exactly. Ben Stiller remakes The Heartbreak Kid with the Farrelly brothers, which just Dumb and Dumber last week, in 2006, which is pretty dreadful.
And who's his wife in that?
Malin Ackerman.
Okay.
They flip it so that the wife in the original, the wife is the brunette and the new woman is the blonde.
Yeah.
In the remake, the wife is Malin Ackerman, and then Michelle Monaghan is the new woman. So they flip the types. It's interesting.
Sure.
But Ben Stiller obviously is obsessed with Charles Grodin, and then in 16, 15, the Noah Baumbach movie, While We're Young,
that's the
Grodin.
One film, other film.
Well, he's great in that.
And I watched that at like 12, so I have no memory.
It's such a good film. We've done an episode of Adam and Ben on it, and Charles Grodin plays Ben Stiller's father-in-law, who is like this renowned kind of experimental documentary filmmaker, and Ben Stiller is like, I'll never be able to compete with my father-in-law. Okay. And he's being given this like Lifetime Achievement Award at MoMA or whatever, and there's a great dynamic in that of Ben Stiller feeling like belittled by his father-in-law. And
do you have to interrupt that ceremony for some reason or another?
Yeah, there's skateboarding stuff.
Yeah.
That's a really fun movie. I need to watch it again. Yeah. Great. I mean,
Adam
Driver and Naomi Watson and Seyfried. Like, it's incredible. And yeah, Charles Grodin is really good in that. And it's a good use of him as like the guy that Ben Stiller would be looking up to, but threatened by. And I love that film because it's set in the world of like people in their 50s making experimental films and hanging out with people 20 years younger than them, and sure, I would know nothing about that. And that's one of his last acting roles. He's in some episodes of Louie, a very normal show, and died in 2021. But I think I've kind of seen all the Charles Grodin movies I'm probably ever gonna see at this point.
Yeah.
But there's some real highs in there.
Yeah.
And big fan, great face, great Midnight Run. Funny how most people probably only really know him for Midnight Run. And maybe one other thing. But the average normie who likes this film is probably never going to check out The Heartbreak Kid.
Do they love Beethoven? Like
maybe people see Beethoven. But like I don't think The Heartbreak Kid is like a beloved film in like movie culture. But I don't think that like the average like 80s obsessive man, Empire magazine man is ever going to watch that. So like Charles Grodin is kind of like a one and done for those types of people probably.
But also possible that like I feel like certain films now, online film culture, they sort of become mainstream films retroactively. Yeah. So that could still happen.
Maybe.
Heartbreak Kid.
But Heartbreak Kid is just like weird and cynical and mean-spirited in a way that I think most people would like kind of
probably can't be clipped into YouTube Shorts material. Like
yes, I don't think so. Also, the sound on it is like so terrible they have to do a remaster on it. It's really bad sound. Letterboxd top 4 game for this movie.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Shane, you pull up the box office for 1988 while we're
doing the year, are we?
Will we do the year or the weekend? I think if we do the weekend, we'll really struggle.
Can I share a crazy story from Charles Grodin's interview while we do that?
Yeah.
While we pull it up. He was saying on the day they shot the like Robert De Niro meeting the ex-wife scene.
Yes.
That day he got the news that his first wife had died.
Oh no.
Oh Jesus.
And he was saying that it was a really unconventional marriage, that
they were married at the time. Like
they were married at the time, but the way he put it was they weren't really a couple. There was an unplanned pregnancy.
Right.
They got married, and apparently she kind of like left him for long periods of time at different points during the marriage.
Okay.
And according to him, his daughter told him that on her deathbed, she said, "Oh, I've made a terrible mistake. He was actually a great guy."
Oh, Jesus. Well, that's sad.
Yeah.
What an interesting story. I'm sure he was a great guy.
Yeah.
You didn't say one thing.
He did get married again, though, and he was married to that woman for like 30 plus years.
Wow.
Does he have a controversies page on his, Wikipedia?
He does not.
Really? There you go.
Almost insane to have had an MSNBC show and to never have said anything.
Never said anything controversial.
Whose top 4 do you want to do? These are your choices. These people all have Midnight Run in their top 4.
Is every one of these a man in their 40s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christian Slater, Simon Rex, Matt Damon, Ike Barinholtz, Matthew McFadden, or Keegan-Michael Key. Pretty good choices there. Guys, pick one. Who do you want to go with? Matt Damon, obviously the biggest hitter there.
Yeah.
But Simon Rex could be more interesting.
I was thinking, because I was like, okay.
We go with Simon Rex?
Sure, yeah. I feel like I would not be able to predict his top 4.
Yeah, I think
the rest of his might be more interesting as well than Matthew McFadden's.
I think Matthew McFadden's will be boring. Like, all right, Simon Rex. So Simon Rex did this top 4 on the red carpet for Blink Twice, a movie I completely forgot he was in. Simon Rex, obviously, folks, the star of Sean Baker's... Oh, sorry, Christian Slater and Simon Rex both gave their top 4 on the same red carpet, and they both named Midnight Run.
Oh,
They're
that's
not standing beside each other.
I wonder.
That's so weird.
Just big Midnight Run heads.
Maybe they like talked about it and bonded over it on the set of that movie or something. What's Simon Rex got coming up soon? I feel like he's in something fun this year. Can't remember what. All right.
I don't know.
Simon Rex is top 4. Okay, so Midnight Run is the number 1 he named. Number 2 is a Gus Van Sant movie.
Okay.
Starring an actor that I have met. And I can't tell you much more about it. Got lots of drugs in it. Haven't
My
seen
Private Idaho?
No. But it's around that same period. It's an actor I've met in 2008.
Okay.
As in you were in the same room, or you?
I have spoken to this man and shook his hand.
American actor.
Huh. This is his one of his big breakout leading roles.
Have you told me the story of you meeting this man?
You know I've met this man. You just don't think about him very much.
Yeah.
I tell you, this is the movie Drugstore Cowboy starring Matt Dillon.
Oh, Matt Dillon, of course. Yeah.
Number 3 is a Christmas film that only Americans care about, has really no cultural standing in.
Oh, A Christmas Story?
Christmas Story.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry
to my in-laws if they're listening.
Why is that an American-specific thing?
Because it's a TV movie.
Yeah,
that Americans watch every Christmas.
There's a channel that just plays it on a loop.
It's crazy.
Like 24/7 during Christmas.
Why does Simon Rex like this?
Americans love
just a lot of people.
Story.
Just a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for it. You grow up with it, so
it's a particular brand of nostalgic, sentimental.
And it's
Christmas
the kind of film that I think if you don't watch it as a kid, you're not going to connect with it.
Yeah. And then his 4th favorite film is a documentary. With a very iconic title. It's a documentary set in the film industry.
Oh.
Don't know.
Say a documentary set in the film industry?
Documentary about the film industry. Very iconic title.
American movie?
No. It's
Hearts of Darkness.
No. It's about the producer Bob Evans. Producer of The Godfather. The movie's called The Kid Stays in the Picture.
Oh, I think I have heard
It's a great
this.
title.
Yeah.
The Kid Stays in the Picture.
About like Al Pacino and The Godfather.
Yep. Those are Simon Rex's 4
Why was he
films.
up for cutting?
Oh, they didn't want him at all.
Okay.
Well, if only there was a 10-episode miniseries starring Miles Teller and Matthew Good plays Bob Evans in an unbelievable performance. Matthew Good is like spitting fucking cigars out of his mouth. It's an incredible performance.
Yeah, like James Caan auditioned for Michael Corleone and they wanted him, and Francis Ford Coppola was like, no, I want Al Pacino, who was pretty unproven at the time. I think it was Warren Beatty. Up for it as well. Like, it's really
I legitimately
stupid.
would encourage everybody to watch The Offer. It's really good fun. All right.
Sure.
Box office.
B.O.
So we seemingly have done this year 2 or 3 times before,
we've
so it
done
might get
this
repetitive.
before.
But we have a new guest to participate.
We do.
Yeah.
So, Luke.
Okay.
Now, this stars the man who took Mr. Grodin's place in The Graduate.
Okay.
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman.
And it's
the number 1.
Remind
This
me
made
what
a
year
worldwide
this is?
gross of $354 million in 1988.
Jesus Christ.
I think this was a critical and award success also.
Critical.
Maybe not critical. An award success, I believe.
Fuck. I'm trying to. I can't even think of a single 1980s Dustin Hoffman.
I think it's one of his probably 3 best known performances.
And Kramer vs. Kramer's 70s, right? This is like way past Kramer.
Do you know it?
No, I don't. So it's not Kramer vs. Kramer. It's not The Graduate. Rain Man.
Rain Man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay.
Fucking garbage.
Is it?
From the director of the Al Pacino, Greta Gerwig mask sex. Yeah. Barry Levinson.
Okay.
Whose son, of course, is the mastermind behind Euphoria.
Yeah. Jesus.
Oh, brilliant. All right, we got a Lucien 2-star review here.
Okay.
Very much one of those films that 80s, 90s kids remember a little too fondly. Slow and not that funny.
That could apply to any of these.
Yeah, that's you talking about any 80s movie.
Slow and not that funny. So it's a comedy.
Is it a Chevy Chase thing?
Is it a Bill Murray thing?
No.
Eddie Murphy?
Oh, who's the guy? There's like non-physical people in this.
Non-physical? What does that mean?
It means that it's like creature.
It's partially animated.
A creature feature.
Oh.
Partially animated, but it's not a what? Partially animated. It's Who
like,
Framed
like
Roger Rabbit?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, okay.
Ugh,
Yeah. Robert Zemeckis.
irritating film. The 80s are just like, oh my god, the shit they were making. And I have to deal with these men in their 50s being like, oh, it's so good.
I
Again,
haven't watched 300 since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So
$330 million
liking it as a
box
kid.
office in 1988. Like that's pushing probably 600-700.
Yeah, 6-7.
Yeah.
Every film in the 80s you had to see as a child or you won't like it.
Yeah.
there's a lot of that.
Because they're all bad. All right, keep going.
Okay, our next 2 films would be are thematically similar in that they are both about immigrants
They're both about immigrants.
Yeah.
E.T.
finding their way
E.T.?
in the United States.
E.T. would have been the biggest movie of the year, whatever year
Yeah.
it came out. Immigrants.
One is a sequel and one produced a sequel.
Coming to America.
Correct.
Okay.
And
One is a sequel.
Yeah.
Is the sequel? Is he only an immigrant in the sequel? Is it Crocodile Dundee 2?
It's Crocodile Dundee too.
That's the one where he goes fishing for eels in the river in Central Park with
I assume he's an American, both of them. The first Crocodile Dundee isn't just like in Australia.
No, but it takes I think
Yeah.
until the second half of the movie for him to go to America.
Okay.
A lot of the first one is set in Australia.
Sure.
That's not a knife. This is a knife. Ha ha ha.
Well,
He's still alive.
Mr.
All right.
Dundee,
Yeah, he certainly is.
is he known for anything else?
No. But they made a movie about 5 years ago called The Fabulous Mr. Dundee about the actor. It's like a meta thing about
weird.
the actor.
Yeah.
And like John Cleese and Chevy Chase are in that with him.
Huh.
Yeah.
Time for a Lego sequel.
Yeah. Oh, you know he's.
Well, we did get the
Paul
Coming to
Hogan.
America like a sequel there not so long ago.
Sorry, he's a cool guy because he hangs out with Chevy Chase and John Cleese.
Yes, of
Jesus
course.
Christ.
Anyway, proceed.
They sit in armchairs around in a circle in their
Australia,
basement.
the only country where those guys are welcome in a large room full of people.
Even the French don't want them.
All right.
Movie we have covered on this podcast.
Twins.
Nah.
It's fine. It's twins.
Third of a franchise.
Third of a France.
So it's
Star
Weapon
Wars?
3? Oh yeah.
Turn of the Jedi? No,
no,
because that would be
Not
way
Last
big. That would be way bigger.
Crusade. It's not Die Hard. It's not Lethal Weapon.
Nope.
What other threes were there at the top? Back to the Future.
Nope.
Threes.
Man, I really don't know any of the names in this this cast list apart from the star.
Oh yeah. So it's 1 star.
Neither of you have watched.
Is it Rambo 3?
It's Rambo 3.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you forget there was loads of Rambos being made.
There's like 5 of them?
Yeah, and there's a new one coming out next year.
Crazy.
Oh, the
with-
tagline of this is pretty good. The first was for himself. The second was for his country.
That's good.
This time is for his friend.
Oh. I feel like, would that not work better if it was the first was for himself, the second was for his friend, this one is for his country?
And they obviously overshot with the second one.
That feels like, wait, that's the wrong order.
Yeah,
like, the
yeah,
country
yeah.
should be the big one. Like,
That's kind of how the Mission Impossibles go as well.
I guess so. It reverts back.
The first is for himself,
friendship.
the next
Yeah,
one is
yeah.
for the country, and then it gets back to just him and his friends.
Ethan, you are my
You are
friend.
my friend. They're doing a new Rambo with Noah Centineo and James Franco is going to be in it.
Jesus Christ.
It's his first,
a little
James
cursed.
Franco's first studio film in over a decade. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, cancel culture is dead. Everybody's welcome in the house of Rambo.
House
All
of
right,
Franco.
one more. Franco
This-
First Blood.
Film. Oh, speak of John Cleese.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I think this won an Oscar for a
Fish Called Wanda.
There's a Fish Called
starring
Wanda.
my favorite actor in the world, Kevin Kline, Oscar winner.
Yeah.
A film that is kind of unwatchable despite how much I love Kevin Kline.
Sure.
Great.
Last three were Cocktail, Big, and Die Hard.
So interesting. You got your Cruise and Hanks ascension going on there.
Yeah.
And thankfully they come to save the movies.
And Bruce Willis is there as well.
Yeah.
You ever watch Cocktail?
I've watched about half of it.
Yeah, it's not great.
No. But Cruise,
kind of funny.
Cruise and Hanks do literally save movies from the shit of the 80s.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, we actually have some real leading men now that are going to make good films in the 90s. Interesting.
All
right. Any final thoughts, Luke?
We didn't talk about score at all.
The score?
I think it's fun.
He likes it. I think it's dreadful.
fun.
Yeah.
It's like somewhat like the Sinner score for certain sections of it. It's completely
interesting.
incoherent.
Yeah,
just the bluesy
like
riffs.
when they get to like Arizona and shit.
Yeah. It's a complete mess. It jumps between blues, slow blues, and then like fucking Benny Hill nonsense, and it's I don't know.
I think it's fun.
Kind of irritating, but I'm always in favor of an interesting score over a boring one.
Yeah.
Like this needed something to give it a bit of
juice.
So.
Yeah. I don't have anything clever to say about the score other than I like it. I think it's fun.
I think it's fun.
I think it's like whatever. It's not as if the movie without the score would be any better. Like I don't think it's taking away from the rest of the film, but it is just incredibly distracting. And it's also like Danny Elfman's never done another score like this, as far as I'm aware.
Which I think is kind of fun.
Yeah, it doesn't have any of his usual like.
Yeah, which would be very weird.
Oh, that'd be cool though. I want this to have the.
See you in another life, Jack.
Oh, good male.
Oh, sorry. I just as an infrastructure guy, I only learned from this film that you can get a train from New York to LA. I didn't realize that route existed.
It's complicated, but you can.
Yeah, you go to Chicago and then you have to like go entirely south to Texas somewhere
to avoid all the mountains.
Yeah, all the mountains you go through Arizona.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it takes 68 hours and costs $600. So,
oh my god,
won't be doing that.
Someday.
I know.
Cool.
I mean, that could be a cool way to see America.
Yeah.
If
you make a week or 2 weeks out of it. I suppose.
Yeah.
Anything you want to promote, Luke? Where can people find you?
You can find me at Luke Chan Heidiman on Instagram. You can also find me at Belly Laugh Film, where I will keep people updated about my first feature film, Belly Laugh, which is now completed its offline edit, I think, since last I spoke to you.
Eventually, you will come on Boy Party, and Belly Laugh will be available for people to watch.
That's what I'm hoping. We're talking to post-production companies. We'll see what happens there.
You're in a race to get the film out before this podcast just ends forever. And you have nowhere to promote
platform.
It. Yeah, nowhere to advertise.
Yeah.
We'll do ads every episode for a month. We'll insert a little ad like
we'll keep
movie
going.
ads and other podcasts.
Yeah.
Hey Shane, seen anything good recently? Well, there's a movie called Belly Laugh. Did you know why the belly is in the title?
Yeah. Oh, you can also find me at William Friedkin on Vinted if you want to buy some Blu-rays.
Buy his Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Some Robert De Niro classics in there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You can visit boypartypod.com. Oh, by the way, everyone go listen to our bonus episode we did the other day of the Irish Actor Draft, which is good fun. I hope you all enjoy it. It features Shane and I building a team of 8 living Irish actors in a series of categories, and we don't talk shit about anybody, because who knows, I might be listening.
Yeah, and we pitched them against each other and who would win a game of 8-a-side football.
We should have done that, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
I think Brian F. O'Byrne would fucking destroy in a game of 8-a-side football.
Sorry, fucking Roy Keane himself is on the panel.
Yeah. That's why my team ended up being 7 men and 1 woman, which was a mistake. Anyway, thank you for tuning in.
Kerry Condon knows ball.
Boy Party Pod on Instagram. We'll be back next week. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Shane. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.